Movies. My newest freelance job for Vulture/New York Magazine is a lot of fun so far, so literally I had no time this week to spend on my Spider-Gwen trailer until Thursday night, and I told Abraham over at New York Magazine that I'd have something to him by Friday because he was going to Comic-Con, and the idea was that he might shoot some cosplayers, so we wanted to have things ready for that. And so yeah, I'm really happy with what I was able to pull together in just a few hours. The idea, of course, was to take narration that Emma Stone had done in other movies and pull that into like footage from The Amazing Spider-Man and make it look like a trailer where basically the premise of Spider-Gwen is what if Gwen Stacy had gotten spider powers instead of Peter Parker. And the comic series is very well done, and I obviously can't follow the plot thread of that too closely without the right footage, but just trying to make it look like a cool trailer was really fun. I used just as temp music from The Flash. I used footage from the show, and then I was looking at Birdman and Zombieland primarily as like, oh, here's some dramatic stuff that Emma Stone says that maybe I can pull into this. The problem, of course, is she's just saying it. It doesn't really sound like narration, and so then it was like, oh, wait a minute. Easy A, the movie she did based on the Scarlet Letter. That's all narration. And so I had a lot of fun actually taking, what's this teen comedy kind of thing about a girl who everyone thinks is a slut who's actually still a virgin, talking about her experience with that. Works really well actually in this Spider-Man context, because it's this whole like, there's two sides to every story. I'm going to tell you my side, which sets up this kind of interesting dichotomy of like, Peter Parker's told you his story, I'm going to tell you my story. And it's fun to cut between like the spider bite and then like Gwen Stacy like looking at the ground and being confused, so she got bit, and then taking some moments where she's interacting with web that Peter had, spun out and making it look like somehow she's using it. So anyway, I just put together something really quick. They liked it in New York Magazine. We want it to be longer. We want it to be more robust. We want to get the spider suit in there. And so what we've actually ended up doing is we're going to have Julianne, who starred in my play Dystopia Pia last year alongside, Sarah Lamar and the rest of my fantastic cast. Her and a few of her friends actually have a cosplay site called like Cantaloupe Cosplay, and they do all sorts of incredible cosplay. They make their own costumes, and it's beautiful and amazing. And so I basically said, hey, do you think there's any chance that you'd want to make a Spider-Gwen costume? And, so we toyed with a few other options, filming people at Comic-Con, or making stuff in CGI, or hiring like a visual effects artist to modify Amazing Spider-Man footage. And instead, we're actually gonna have Julianne make a Spider-Gwen costume, which is gonna be really cool, and then film her with like someone who really knows how to film things, unlike me, and insert that into the trailer, and it should look really cool, and I'm excited to see what we can do with that. So that should be really fun. Spider-Gwen trailer. Cool new freelance stuff. Looking forward to it. Also this week, real quick, I found out that Liz has never seen Terminator, or Terminator 2. Who cares about the other ones? But yeah, I felt like I needed to introduce her to that. She loved Alien, which is another James Cameron movie with a fantastic female protagonist. So I was like, you gotta know who Sarah Connor is. Like, you have to know her story and her struggle. And so, unfortunately, it's tough to watch anything in a week as busy as this, but we sat down and we saw like the first hour, and a lot of that movie still, I gotta say, it holds up really well. What's nice is that it doesn't spoon feed you a lot. Like, there's a lot of just kind of hints of what's going on, and you're left to kind of put all the cogs in place and figure out the story for yourself. Obviously, the visual effects are a little bit dated. When I love the scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, the Terminator, is like taking out his eyeball and trying to repair things, and that's such a cool idea in premise. But of course, the makeup and CG wasn't at the point there where you'd be like, oh God, look at what he's doing to his eye. Like, it's clearly a puppet. All that being said, it still holds up really well. I actually want to finish watching it again because it's been a few years since I've seen the movie. And then, as I recall, I think I enjoyed Terminator 2 even more. I thought that was a fantastically powerful, emotional story. I just hope I can show that to Liz. And Terminator, there's a real kind of timeless quality to that story. And I don't know why Hollywood has so much trouble capturing what made the first two so good, with now, I guess, 3 really bad ones. ones. So, yeah, that's a shame. But Terminator, 5 stars, confidence of 2, because I haven't finished it yet. We'll see how I feel when I get through it again. On HBO, my dad has HBO again now that he's up north. I usually steal from his account both his cable password and then like if he has HBO or Showtime, that kind of stuff. And so he's back up north, and so he has HBO again, so I've been using his account to watch stuff on HBO. And so one movie that popped up on there fairly recently that I'd heard good things about was John Wick. A lot of people were like, this is Keanu Reeves back in form, doing his thing, best performance since The Matrix. So I was like, yeah, let's check this out. And I totally agree. I thought it was a really well done movie, very focused, very simple revenge story. What I found so fascinating about it is it's a movie that feels like a sequel. And in some ways it's good that there wasn't a first movie, because a lot of the fun is like putting together the rules of this world. Like one thing that's just fun is throughout the movie, it's all these hitmen, it's all these people killing people all the time, and they all just kind of know each other. And there's this whole like etiquette thing where there's a bunch of stuff going on in a hotel, and you know how things happen with like noise complaints and that kind of thing. And it's always like, oh, who's making such a ruckus in here? And oh, John, oh hey John, how are you? Oh hey Terry, how are you? Yeah. And just these kind of like very neighborly affectations everyone has with each other, even though they're all assassins. So yeah, the real simple premise of the story is that, you know, Keanu Reeves, he's retired from this whole world. His wife dies at the beginning. His wife leaves him a dog. He has this really beautiful bonding relationship with his dog, and then something terrible happens. Like, you know, tear-inducing terrible. I have that problem with anything related to animals. And then, yeah, he goes and takes revenge, and it's very satisfying and very well shot, and kind of like Mad Max. Like, again, it's a very simple story, but so well told narratively. The pacing, the way it's shot, the choices being made are all so well done that it's just a ton of fun. So I recommend John Wick a lot. I don't have a lot to say about it. Just, yeah, check it out. It's 4 stars with a confidence 4. And then lastly, still on HBO, not really a movie, it was like 40 minutes long, 7 Days in Hell. You got Andy Samberg from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Saturday Night Live. You got Kit Harington, Jon Snow on Game of Thrones. I first saw him playing little Joey on War Horse over in the Olivier Theatre in London back in 2008, and it's so funny. This is a raunchy, exactly the right length parody of a tennis documentary about the longest match ever, 7-day Wimbledon match, because technically something like that could happen, since the way a Wimbledon tennis match works, and I think any tennis matches, you have to win by 2, and so you just keep playing until someone has won by 2. So in theory, it could just keep going, and so you have Andy Samberg's character, who is supposed to be like a cousin of Venus and Serena Williams, grew up in that family, very talented, but very kind of, I'm going to party and do drugs, I'm still awesome at tennis. So the bad boy, who still can, totally be on his game. And then Jon Snow there, Kit Harington, who is like very formal and polite, kind of an idiot, but was properly trained and has a helicopter mom that always wanted him to be an amazing tennis player. And to watch those personalities butt heads is really fun. All the actors in this are having such a good time. Marie Steinberger, who's been great in like everything from Justified to The Last Man on Earth. I first saw her in Back to the Future 3 years ago. She's doing so much right now, and she's great in this. Probably my standout character is Michael Sheen, who is usually, so serious in things like Masters of Sex, which is about to come back. Maybe it already did come back. I think it's coming back tonight. He had a great little guest role on Archer as a voice, but this is a chance for him to really show his comedy chops. He's like a drunk, semi-obese British talk show host who has a weird crush on Kit Harington and like keeps asking him to like take off his shirt and show how fit he is, and it's just a really fun role for him, and I got a huge kick out of watching him sell it. So anyway, 7 Days in Hell, super raunchy. I'm so glad it's 40 minutes. At an hour and a half it would have overstayed its welcome, but it's a lot of fun. Check it out on HBO if you can. 4 stars with a confidence of 4.